2, 3.
I'm hard and ready.
That's right. That's why we're in progress, everyone, because Alex is hard and ready, and I don't know how long I'm going to stick around while that situation exists.
Well,
Luckily, we're apart physically.
that's what you think. I've been in your closet for 3 years doing this show.
And what a wonderful closet it is, because I haven't
Yeah,
heard you at all.
I just I fly in and out, and I just I'm only in Philly for like an hour and a half, and weekly. It's nice.
Well, I don't know
Um,
how to tell you this, but I ran the numbers, and you're definitely losing money if you're flying to be in my closet every week for this show.
well, it's the only way it's the only way I could get hard and ready, Tony. So,
That's gross.
um, yeah, it is. But I had to say, I'm hard and ready because I said that before we clicked go on the record button, and Tony decided that was the name of the episode. So I feel like I have to say it out loud on the recording of the episode, so it would be relevant.
And speaking of relevancy, now would be a good time to let those who don't know where you are. You have made it to another fun-filled episode of This is the Future.
Unfortunately.
Title makes me giggle. Speaking of things that this isn't our unfortunate topic, but things that are unfortunate, it's fucking cold season. Like cold cold outside and cold coming out of my head. So
Oh,
if you're under the weather, I say try to get out from under it and go
yeah.
somewhere else.
Go,
Sunshine.
yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. Get out of there. Man.
Um,
Alex
yeah, I feel
Alex
like
was talking about how he walks his dog for 2 miles every day. Especially, is it really 2 miles? That's a long fucking time for a dog to go poop and pee pee.
a mile and a half to 2 miles, yeah.
Wow. Well, that's
You-
good for him, but Jesus, it's cold. Well, where you're at,
yeah.
it's like 20 degrees here.
Yeah, well, it's her. She wants to keep on going. She like pulls me, and I'm like, I'm fucking fat, and I'm done walking. What the fuck's wrong with you? You're fat too. Stop walking. And, and
You remember, hang on, sorry, excuse me. You remember that woman that used to work she stood outside on 17th and Bend in front of the pizza joint in front of Little Caesars, and she wore the headphones and she had a fake guitar, and she would just stand out
yeah,
there all day
yeah,
long and be like, yeah, that's how
yeah,
I picture your dog Emma. Like she's just wearing the headphones, she's got the Walkman on, and you're trying to like let's go home, and she's like running just as fast as we can,
yeah,
just
yeah,
going. She's like, fuck that.
yeah. So for those of you that don't know, there was Little Caesars hires either like high schoolers or like people that live outside to like hold a guitar like a cardboard cutout of a guitar that says Little Caesars on it, and then they act like they're playing to get people in, like, yeah, all right. uh, and you know what, I don't know if it works, but it's really cool and funny, because there was a lady in Bend when we were both living there that was really into it, and and there was also this like in Redmond, one town to the north,
North.
um, north. Uh, he was just like this like fat kid, high schooler. He's probably like 14, and he'd have like headphones on too, and he'd be like playing like if you watched him if you were at a light and you were watching, you could tell he's playing metal riffs because he's like doing this. And I mean when I mean metal riffs, I mean like Stained. Been a while.
It's been a while. Just
But
gonna
yeah,
poke. We're gonna poke the band though.
we need to.
If you like Stain, stick around for the whole show.
If you don't, please stay around. We
Stick
need you.
around for the whole show. Yeah, there's something we could talk about for a second. Like it made me wonder. So I don't remember this woman's name, but I know the woman. I think she started this whole circus act in Central Oregon with the sign twirling and the excitement over $5 pizzas. But she was out there on the regular, which she had a following. Like people used to like go out there and like take pictures with her and shit, sell meth, whatever they were doing. But
I mean, how can you not?
well, the big question is someone who goes out and stands on a street. I don't know how long she was out there, but this corner was popular for traffic. So you went by it a lot. If you went through town, you usually passed this corner
Mm-hmm.
where this chick hung out. And almost every time she was there that I would drive by. So that yields the question, fuck was she on? Flat out.
I
No
mean,
one, and she was over 50. At least she looked over 50. She could have been 20, but drugs aren't kind. So she could have been, I think, the first scenario, she was sober, she was over 50, she beat cancer, second lease on life. That's why she's out there really excited about a paper guitar, making less than it costs for a $5 pizza an hour.
yeah, probably.
Second option, high as fuck on meth. I don't even think that they knew she was out there for a while. Don't think she really worked for Little Caesars. I just one of those highs where you just get stuck for 6 months. I think.
Yeah,
So what do you think? What I mean, I don't want to know the real back. I don't know whatever the real
I
back.
don't really know it, but
Does it when you drove by? What were your thoughts?
I thought kind of the same thing where like they didn't really know she was out there for a long time, but like I felt like she was out, out on the cold hard streets of Bend, Oregon, living that hard life, out there, looking at stuff on the ground, and then she saw like a soggy, flappy cardboard guitar that they made one of at Little Caesars, and they tried to give it to an employee, and he was like, "Fuck this! I'm 17. I'm gonna go skateboard and sell stinky weed." That's what I was
Right.
doing. And then um, and then she found it outside, and she was like, "Fucking litter bugs," and picked it up, but she was listening to like a one earphone that was broken, and it was Santana was playing that, but the one when he was playing with Rob Thomas, and she listened to that, and she picks up that soggy guitar, and it's the neck of it's like all limp, like I promise it's never happened before, that kind of limp, and and she starts wailing at it, and then like some of the employees look out the window. There wasn't windows, and they look out the window and they see like, oh, look at grandma's rocking out. But that was only after a month of that she was doing it.
Fuck.
And because they're little Caesars, they're like, fuck it, let's just give her some breadsticks, throw some Parmesan at her, she'll be happy. And then she was a legend.
She never got all the attention she wanted. She got right there on the corner of 17th and 3rd
Yeah.
Street. That's great. Here's another scenario because you bring up a good point. There's a lot of 17-year-old skateboarders in that town who want to smell stink or want to smell stinky weed.
I just want to
Smell
smell
and
it.
sell stinky
I
weed.
just want to smell it. Let me.
Bro.
How much for a whiff?
And so, this kid's got this plan. It's his first day out there. He's on the job, Mom says you can live here if you fucking go get a job. So he's working, he's holding the guitar, got his board in the other hand, he's pondering life. And here she comes looking for something to do. And he's like, "Hey, would you mind holding this guitar while I go to the bathroom?" And then 3 years later, he still hasn't returned. Maybe that's what's going on. And she's just dedicated. She doesn't even know why she's doing it. She doesn't even know who the fuck, who he works for. I bet the kid's still getting a check. She's not. She might still be there. I'm curious if
Right.
she's still there. Is she
I
still
don't know.
there?
I have no idea.
I mean, the pandemic fucked up a lot of jobs, so it makes me wonder. But
I feel like that's the one job you can keep. You're outside. You're by yourself.
The pandemic, boy, I was never been so busy.
No one
Look
came.
at these fingers; they're just sliced from all those chords I'm playing.
Yeah. Everyone kept 6 feet away from her anyway. So
Safest job on earth.
it was like, man, don't even tell her that this is going on at all.
Right.
She doesn't come inside. We just open the door. We roll an old pizza out. It's fine.
I really wonder maybe she didn't have any music playing. She's just really good at faking it.
Well, the times I saw her, she never even
Had
was
headphones.
actually pretending to play the guitar. She was just holding it and then waving and walking in the traffic. Like she
Right.
just holding it by the neck and just going, and like walking out in the traffic, basically. Like every time I saw her.
Let's keep fucking with scenarios. Here's another one. What if she showed up and she's like she's a naive news store manager, and they're like, yeah, usually our last store manager, they just stood outside, tried to bring in business. Like they
Mm-hmm.
were just gung ho as fuck. So if you could take that guitar over there and try to get some business, that'd be great. We got the $5 pizzas ready to rock. So, maybe she's the new store manager and she's just doing what she thought she's supposed to be doing. She's not time check, not she's not doing
No,
paychecks or time cards. She's just out there rocking the fuck out, trying to bring in them pizzas. I just want to know what puts you on the street like that. Like I'm on the street for a reason, man. I'm on the corner, working that corner for a reason.
maybe it's a real life commercial. She's in a commercial, we don't know it in this alternate universe, and it's a commercial for how drugs won't ruin your life and you won't lose jobs from doing drugs. Let's just say she worked in a factory and she was moving fridges all day, and she was like the strongest one there. She didn't need a forklift, she didn't need a cart, no dolly, nothing. And all she did is she put the fucking fridge on her back and she just and threw it on top of the shelf. Finally, finally, after 45 years of doing that, working in that factory in this alternate universe, she finally threw her back out. Finally, so she had to turn, yes, to the spoon and heat up that nice milky spoon, and started throwing her life away. But then, in this alternate universe, turns out that drugs, you don't throw your life away on drugs. Drugs are good. Meth, crack, heroin, boom, bam, whip, speed. It's all good for you. Turns out she just did a lot of meth and got a better new job, easy on her back. She liked to dance. She likes pizza. She loves guitar. She loves attention. Maybe that's.
That was really good, man.
Is anyone thought
She's 40, 50 years, fridges on her back, and finally, I love that. Look, you're on point. Keep going. This is great. Well, all right. All right. So let's flip the script. This was a while ago. This is like 7 years ago. So let's say she's still doing it, but the drugs have changed, and they have. So now everyone is not really into meth anymore. They're into fentanyl, which we know is a totally different high. So that means she's probably not out there shredding licks anymore. She's probably like in that position that you see. You ever seen that picture of, I think it's Kurt Cobain, like on his knees, hair dripped over his head in his
Oh, yeah.
flannel, on his
Yeah.
guitar. It looks like he's playing, like maybe he's shredding. But in
Yeah.
that moment in time, if you just see the picture, it looks like he's just got the nod. And he's like,
Yeah.
like, I wonder if that's what she's doing now. She's just holding that drugged up nod. It looks like but she's not. She's just sleeping on her guitar.
Probably like in her head, she thinks she's shredding, but she's just so high that she's like doing like a heroin tai chi nap. Fucking just like just her forehead's touching her knees and just keep on waking up. But in her
The
head, she's
only
like, woo, like in her head, but like really in our reality, she's fucking.
So anytime somebody honks, that's when she's like, "Ow!"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like that's the whammy bar. That's the like when someone honks, she's like, woo.
She just wakes up out of it, like, yeah. It's like one of those exhibits that you're going to see in everyone's front yard for Christmas. Where you hit the button you go to Lowe's and you want to see all the different, Christmas ideas, the snow globes that fit in your front yard, and
Yeah.
you push the
Oh,
button and it starts. That's her. Honk your horn, she lights up like woo, back to bed. Woo!
yeah, she's like a fucking one of those fucking wavy things at a used car lot, you know?
Oh yeah. Someone keeps turning the fan off, like
Yeah, on and off, on and off, like some little shithead 7-year-old that goes into your room and wakes you up and like turns the light on and off. It's like that.
oh shit. It makes me think, right around that time they were starting to realize on that same street further north, that's where the last Blockbuster lives.
Yeah.
And so still to this day, for all of you who remember Blockbuster, then Bend, Oregon, there you go. That's the last Blockbuster. It's still there. I go there, owe them a lot of late fees. But if you travel, my theory is this: I won't be surprised if she gets her own documentary. And here's my thinking: you drive all the way up to Bend from LA. You're gonna do this fucking documentary about the last blockbuster. You're heading back down. You're heading back to California in your van with all your smelly friends that you made this documentary with. Stop and get a $5 pizza. Well, wait a minute. What's happening behind this little Caesars here? Who's that? Well, wait a minute. I see another opportunity. Let's hear her story.
Yeah.
So if that shit comes out on Amazon, I'm fucking buying it just to support her fentanyl habit. I don't care.
Yeah.
My life on fat. Like, okay.
Who's that? That's just Large Marge. She plays a mean guitar. She...
That's Windy Wendy. It's just out there getting blown around. It's not warm out there. It's fucking. Like, we used to see this chick like out there in the weather. Like,
Yeah,
wearing
wearing like little short turquoise shorts, grandma legs flopping around, just like. But like, I mean, that's probably why she was dancing so hard. She's trying to keep warm. You know, she's she's got to keep warm, so she's moving a lot. She's playing that sweet, sweet guitar, so it just fucking fills her with fucking magical energy. You know, she just like feels the guitar, feels the music. And then, like, you know, she's got to move really quick because there's a bunch of ice everywhere. But if she moves her feet a lot, it'll melt. She got
right.
that. Yeah, she's like Michael Flatley. You know that is? And Lord of the Dance.
That
Lord
would be fucking rad. She moved on to Irish clogging. Like 6 people down the sidewalk, arm in arm.
but she's still playing the guitar. She still has the guitar.
Like the last day when it's all over and she's finally done and she's fired. It didn't work out. You know, she realized she was supposed to be managing inside. She was duped by the staff. She spent 6 years outside. The numbers went to shit. She's fired. And the next thing you know, you just see what looks like the cover of a Bruce Springsteen album with that cardboard guitar slung over her back, you know, and her pair of neon socks shining in the setting sun as she walks away from her destiny.
And then
born to not run a Little Caesars instead of born to run. Born to not run.
And you just see her walking away, so you just see her from the back, and she just puts the guitar in like a sleeve, like a sword, like she just puts it back there and walks and just keeps on walking. It's like
right. And then she goes to apply for a home loan like several years later and realizes that she has an outstanding debt and finds out that she never paid for the guitar. So now
Guitar Center's calling her. We need our cardboard Little Caesars
That's
guitar.
right. We need our stunt guitar back. The fuck? Yeah. All right. If you guys just listened to 20 minutes about some woman out in Oregon who fucking plays cardboard guitar, you're welcome.
that was like a solid 16 to 18 minutes of
find material anywhere. We're like little trash bums. Oh, there's music material.
Yeah, just talking about Methy Marcy playing the guitar for fucking.
Oh man. Yeah, I remember seeing people on Facebook with pictures like they went down. It was a national, you know, it was a landmark. It was a thing. That's great. So anyway, how have you been, Alex?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't got nothing that could top her. And for our next guest,
right? That'd be awesome. You had her waiting in the staircase the whole time.
That was just her intro.
Dim the lights. There's a smoke machine.
I just crushed up some aspirin, have some old bubble gum. That's her payment. Probably get in trouble for this one, but.
Said crushed up aspirin and old bubble gum.
Yes, that's their payment. Here's a half a sandal. Have a good time.
Oh man, you're on fucking point. This is great. Oh shit. Oh man. Well, we really, we really pigeonholed ourselves on this one. Yeah, we don't have anywhere to go with that.
I know, right?
Oh fuck. Oh, that's funny. Mm,
Well, I've been fine, and
that's good.
how you been? How was your weekend?
I was fast. This shit always goes fast, but one of my least favorite things is coming upon us Black Friday, and I'm in retail, so
What
just
day
trying
is
to
that
rest up.
again?
Hmm?
What day is that?
The day after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even know if anyone has any money. I guess we'll find out.
I know. How can you like the all the Black Friday like prices are just going to be like what they were 2 years ago on like it's like
Yeah.
they're going to be
Yeah.
cheaper. They're going to be like a flat screen TV. Let's just say 3 or 4 years ago was $200. Now they're like 350
Four.
or four.
Yeah.
It's just gonna go back down to what it was originally when things weren't good, but they were a little better, you know.
Right.
Uh, so it's like, yeah, this is cheap. Like, gas out here is like $6, 550 or something like that. When it drops the 440, everyone's like, man, that's cheap. No, it's not.
Thank
It's still
you.
fucking. It's still
Thank you.
really expensive. Like,
Right.
you're still fucking me. You're still fucking me. How you fucking me without fucking me? Come on, you know.
It's sad if a couple of fucking stoner drunks are like, hey, wait a minute, man. That wasn't the price 2.5 years ago. Still isn't a good deal.
Yeah,
Those Vlasic pickles don't taste any better for fucking $3 extra a bottle. That's not
yeah,
gonna work. This is bullshit. I totally, yeah. That's a really funny point though. You're absolutely right. Be like, ho ho, $200 is a great deal. Like, no, we'll just have a flashback sale.
yeah,
Flashback to prices from 2.5 years ago. I
exactly.
just, I mean, not to be a bummer, but even Jeff Bezos, he's like, don't buy anything. I'm like, what? Why are you telling the whole world not to buy anything? Don't you have any interest in like shopping still? Like, isn't a
Well,
little bit of
because
your
it's
stock
because
invested in your old company?
it's because he's like, I, he's hit his quota of like 100 billion or whatever. He's say, I think I got almost enough. I'll give you guys a break for this season. You know.
Right. Well, I mean, they called it on everything, but it's coming. The shipping companies, like, if you want to know what's happening, just look at shipping. If shipping's slowing down, you're fucked. And they're already saying the boats are already like, we're cutting back. There ain't no freight. And so if the ships are cutting back, that means the trucks are going to cut back, which means the stores ain't going to have shit to sell, which means we're out of fucking work.
Mm-hmm.
So have fun on Black Friday.
Yeah.
I got people calling in like, I want to do 6 lines of Coke. They're like, no, phones. I'm like, oh, well, how are you going to buy them? They're like, I'm going to finance them. I'm like, oh, with who? With you all. I'm like, you are? Oh, that's funny because you only have $100 in financing. So that's like, I don't know, $18 a phone or something. We don't sell any phones like that. You're fucked. So what I'm getting at is no one has any financing. That's what's funny. It's just like car sales. Like, yeah, I'd like 2 Jeep Cherokees, please. It's like, oh wow, hot shit. You get all excited and then you sit down with them, pull up the numbers, and be like, yeah, so would I. You're flat fucking broke. Get out of here.
Yeah. Oh
Why
no,
am I here? You're all fucking poor, just like I am.
in like a year and a half, or even sooner than that, in like a half, we're gonna be fucking sharing bubble gum and that sandal with Methy Molly. Gonna be fucking spinning the Little Caesars guitar because in like 2 years, Little Caesars is gonna be fine dining because
Whoa. Like
everyone's
Demolition
gonna
Man.
be everyone's gonna be eating cardboard and drinking toilet water to survive. So 7-Eleven and Little Caesars is gonna be fucking it's gonna be
It's like Demolition Man. We're going to Taco Bell.
yeah. Oh man, I had Taco
You
Bell
guys are
last.
gonna have like 9 roommates.
Yeah, We're not even gonna have a house. We're just be living in each other. Like you heard me. It's gonna be like Russian nesting dolls. In 100 years, it's going to be called Portland nesting dolls, just because it's going to just have like,
Wow,
it's just going to
that's
have like
great.
someone that looks like a clown, on the front of it, and it says Portlandia dolls on it, and everyone's going to be inside of each other. I lost it. I don't know what's going on.
I get it. I just like I'm
There's
not living
something
in
going
some.
on in here. I don't know.
I'm just gonna die. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna fucking do that.
Oh man.
I did want to say this, man. Well, my cousin took me to uh, like a local band. Like you just go see a local cover band doing Dead songs and whatnot. And it was at and they were really good. The band was called Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Clever. But really good musicians, great Dead cover band. They even bookended. This is something I blew my mind. I had eaten a gummy, those weed, I ate a gummy worm. It was weed infused.
Whoa.
And I don't like this there's a wide opening for a good joke here, but I don't like putting weird things in my mouth.
Mm.
And yeah, that's right there. Just take it, throw a dick against my face. But in any case,
Yeah.
I was like, hey, let me get that gummy from you, please. I'll go ahead and do that now. That'll make things interesting. And so he gave it to me, and he's like, oh man, it's not in the bag anymore. It's in my pocket, and it's all warm. And I'm like, and he said that as he gave it to me. I just kind of took. I was like, kind of like a cat choking on a hairball. I just kind
Yeah.
of hit it with my back molars for a second, like threw it right down my throat. I was like, all right, let's get. And I was like, why the fuck did you say that? And I'm like, that's not appealing. I'm riding home in your car, and I'm gonna throw up in and on it. That is
Well,
disgusting.
well, why'd you eat it? Like you could have not have eaten it.
Well, drug addicts aren't gonna get picky. I mean, shit. Yeah, this is really good math. It fell on my carpet, so there's some carpet fibers, and it'll crackle when you smoke it, but it's totally awesome. I'm in. We're all in. Let's go. Buck being sober. So I did that. And then the band, 30 minutes later, like right as this gummy worm starts squirming through my fucking body,
Yeah.
they play Saint Stephen by the Dead, but they bookended that song with Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun by Pink Floyd. Now
Oh.
this is a local like cover band. So I'm just like standing there and I'm like, you're getting fucked up. I was moving pretty good. That's how I knew I was high, because I'm like moving like all the other white people trying to dance to the Dead. And so they're all swaying around, and this guy keeps like, you ever seen people dance at a Dead show?
I've never been to a Dead show.
Well, we got to look it up. Anyone listen to this, look up people dancing at Dead shows. It's fucking strange. In any case, they kind of like just move around, kind of like there's ants on them, but they're trying to dance and be cool about it. This guy he was in front of me, but then he wasn't in front of me. He would go away, and then he'd come back. And so my cousin's right behind me, like a bird on my shoulder, because he's short. He's got this big head, my cousin. So I'd look around, his head's right there, and he's like could see what I see, and this guy would just like his body would be away from me, and then all of a sudden he would just do this. And I'm moving my body. I'm like, whoa, this guy's gonna walk into me, And my cousin's like, I'm just like, fuck. I'm like, what's happening here? And so I'm tripping out, and this guy keeps like waving in front of me, and they're playing this song, and finally it ends. Like they did 3 sets, and I was like, oh God. I was like, I gotta sit down. I'm gonna throw up on somebody. And so
Yeah.
I sat down, and I was talking to and the musician comes over, that the lead singer, my cousin knows him, and they're talking. And I was fucked up, and I'm all mixed up, and I was like, hey man. He's like, hey. I was like, you did a good job up there. He's like, thanks. I was like, when you bookended that song with that other song, that those 2 songs, you did that thing with the songs. He's like, yeah. And he kept saying it. And I was like, I was like, yeah, it was Pink Floyd. And he's like, uh-huh. I could tell he was like he felt like he was talking to someone that was
Uh,
on the spectrum. He's like, uh-huh. I'm like, never mind. Good job. High five. And my cousin's like, I gave him a worm. Like, oh.
you're like, you just like fucking do the
So
worm out of the menu.
this is how high I was by the end of the thing. Like the third set, like by this time, they're not bookending and doing anything cool anymore. So they're having, they're almost like, I was getting kind of like, ADD'd out. I'm like, there's a pinball machine over there. And guess what won it? Well, it was Terminator 2. And I was like, oh,
Judgment.
I'm gonna get a picture of this for Alex. I never did. I tried. So
Yeah.
I went over. So I kept like, I'm watching the band, but part of my brain's like, we got to play the pinball machine before we leave. And my cousin, I was like, dude, I was like, I don't have any fucking quarters. I haven't had any since the change crisis of 2017 or whatever the hell we're dealing with. And he's like, I got a bunch in my car. I was like, that's not gonna fucking work. I don't even know where I'm at right now, let alone where your fucking car is. So I buy a sandwich and this dude gives me 2 quarters. I was like, destiny. So everyone's like into this, and this old guy's like waving his face in front of my, fucking me up, and I kept looking over. I'm like, yeah, that pinball machine looks great, man. Then I look over and there's these guys playing it. It honestly looked like they were having a three-way. There was a guy like bent over, like playing the game, and there's another guy watching, and the one guy playing the game's like humping it. He's like, huh,
Yeah.
huh, and the other guy's like doing this. And from here, I'm like, dude, they're fucking my machine. I just want to play. They're raping that poor girl. Is anyone gonna help that poor woman? So then I kept looking, and it felt like they were over there for an hour. And finally, they go away, and I'm like, whee! And I look over, and the goddamn machine's like, tilt, 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 tilt. I'm like, ah. It's like, I'm not going to be able to play this cocksucker. So it's like the last song, and I'm like, no one's paying attention. I'm going to slide on over there because it stopped flashing. And I'm all fucked up. I'm trying to play this fucking pinball machine, and I keep putting my change in there, and it keeps coming out. I
Yeah.
keep putting my change, and it keeps coming out. Then I look down there and I realize I'm putting my quarters in the outdoor. Like I'm just putting them in there and then taking them out and then putting them in there. I didn't put them through the feed.
You're like putting it through the little flat
I was
part.
putting them in the door and then going back and getting them out of the door. I'm like, fuck, they keep coming out. And then I finally figured it out. And the weird thing is when I pulled all the money out, I had 55 cents. So I was like, I'm not. My cousin's like, you ready to go? I was like, yeah, I was trying to play this thing, but it just gave me change, so I'm just gonna leave. I put in 50 cents. I got back 55. I'm just gonna call it a win and go home. So that's
Yeah.
what I did. It was real exciting. So yeah, fucked me up, man. Totally fucked me up. That was great. Good old gummy worms.
Oh man.
And I was like, how much weed is in this? He's like, oh, I think 33 milligrams. I said, 33? Like exactly 33 milligrams? Did you pump these things up yourself? Like,
Right.
how do you know that? What dealer is lying to you? No dealers like these have approximately 33.37 milligrams per. Like,
Maybe these days, I mean, people are really into their shit, you know?
I know, but then he just leaves it hanging out in his pocket with pocket lint and a nickel. And what the fuck? It's no good.
It's not as weird as the guy that knew that and ate it, you know?
It was halfway into my mouth when he said that. I was just like, ah, fuck.
I've heard and said that line so many times.
Yeah, I know you have. I've seen the footage. So, switching gears a little bit, I do have, as I mentioned to you before, I have an unfortunate topic of the week. It was spawned. The thought was spawned by the band that we ended up covering this week. But the unfortunate topic is musicians who bring politics into their work.
Mm-hmm.
However you want to phrase that. So my take on it is don't. Nice and easy.
It's weird. It's different than somebody saying into the microphone in the break of a song, you know, fuck them or fuck this.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people that like the singer Stain who makes it a very big part of their whole act, like a huge part of it.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when I don't know how old I was, probably like 19 or something like, or 17, 2004, I think, or 5. I went to a Warp Tour
Hmm.
That was when, or whenever John Kerry was running for president. That
I
guy,
remember the name.
the guy that had a donkey face, and he so he's a Democrat and pretty liberal, and all the punk bands were like into it and like really super, which like kind of blew me away when I was that young, because I was like, I thought we hated everyone, left,
Yeah,
right, like I didn't
picking
think
sides, right?
we were barely on each other's side, you know. So, and I remember no effects was they were throwing drumsticks, like what bands do, and I remember after they were done playing, I remember them throwing like Fat Mike throwing a pick, his bass pick out, and then there's like a bunch of picks all over the ground. So I picked one up and it had John Kerry's face on it.
Hmm.
Like they were that fucking involved and that
Really?
like prepping him that hard. And that I remember that's when I remember being like, all right, they're putting politics into music that hard where they're, and I get it. You should, I mean, you're adult, it's good to have, I know, whatever. But
Yeah.
that's when I was like, I remember thinking in my fucking 18-year-old or whatever brain, being like, oh, punk rock is dead.
Well,
It's like, because I this little blue, because Democrat little guitar pick that had John Kerry's head on it. And it wasn't like, fuck John Kerry. It was like, we like John Kerry, and
right.
I
Guys,
just remember just being like, yeah, it's over. It's all done.
well, or at first I look at it. There's a thought I've always had is why would you cut half of your audience? Why would you want to alienate anybody
Right,
by putting your personal political beliefs out there to your audience? You don't mix religion and work. You don't mix politics and downtime. I mean, you just don't mix the shit. So why would you mix politics and your job? Like, I think you're cutting away half your audience if people know that you're dominant one side or the other.
right,
Now, with that being said, most most musicians are or artists are usually for the left.
right.
Usually,
Usually,
and I don't care. I never gave a shit. I never went and saw a fucking band because of who they voted for. Because I don't vote. I don't give a shit. I'm not getting into it, but I don't fucking care. You know why I go to shows? So I can't hear someone talking about politics.
right,
I can't hear it. It's too fucking loud. It's fantastic. So why is it like, oh hey, just want to let y'all know out there that if you're on the right, you're doing it the right way. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, shut up. You're an idiot. Shut up. You barely made it. You made it as a musician, which is really hard to do. And here you are just shitting the bed. It's like, did you get bored with music? Like, why would you do this? You're killing yourself up there. Cause I'm just not fucking into it. If I hear a band talk about politics, I will I've left. I've definitely kind of been like, nah, I think I'm done. If you're gonna do this, I'm out of here. Roger Waters was kind of hard, but
right.
he's getting better at sliding it in. You know what I mean? Like that end, he's like, go fuck yourself, and you're like, yeah, all right, okay, you're right. Go fuck myself. You just better play Dark Side of the Moon, asshole. That's all I know. I'll put up with your bullshit, but you're
To hear
known
that,
for your
yeah,
bullshit. You're known, and I can only handle so many musicians are known for putting up a bunch of political nonsense in their art. But if that's your thing, if that is your thing, and I know that before I buy my tickets, then okay. And if I buy my tickets, that's on me. That's okay. But if I show up and I go to Taylor Swift and she's like, I can't wait for this asshole to get reelected. I'm like, the fuck does that have to do with the $4,000 ticket I just bought to stand in the nosebleeds with a glow in the dark bracelet to watch your fucking show?
what's weirder than all that is the fact that you could go to a Taylor Swift show.
For $4,000. That's a
No,
hundred.
the fact that Tony G would be there.
I was tying in current events. She fucked up. She's blaming Ticketmaster for fucking over all her fans and her selling all her tickets out within 10 minutes in a pre-sale. That she's like, I'm really sorry that the poor people didn't get tickets. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
bitch. You sold out in 10 minutes. That's all you
yeah,
care about.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
don't get on stage and start talking about politics. Please, man. Like if I'm doing comedy, I don't care. Politicians aren't funny to me. They're not. They work for the rich. So
I am not a Trump fan, but if there had to be the funniest president, Trump would be the funniest president. He would be.
but they don't know they're funny. They think they're being
No, no,
serious.
no. But if there had to be, if someone was like, "Who's the funniest president?"
Trump.
Trump. You know,
Sure.
he's the funniest. He's fucking orange. He thinks he's awesome. The fact that he doesn't know that it's funny is better because he just looks like a fucking buffoon. Like it's just like it's fucking hilarious. Like
But he
it,
doesn't. The problem is he doesn't know.
that's why it's that's why it's so
I
funny.
agree, but
That's
I
why it's so
agree with you.
funny
But
because
it's sad.
yeah, and that's why it gets funnier. It's like watching someone that views an outhouse at a festival, and it's so small that the toilet paper got caught in the back of their pants, and they don't know it, and everyone's laughing, and they're like, "Yeah, I am the shit," but really they're just laughing because they got soggy toilet paper tucked into their pants, and that's why everyone's laughing at them. But they think
Right,
that,
and they think they're
oh,
awesome. Right.
yeah, but like it's because they smell like doo doo, you know.
Yeah, that is funny. It's
Yeah.
just to me, I guess, without I guess being too serious, is just to say it's a bummer that musicians want it. I feel like that's gotten worse and worse and worse to where you walk around and people want to know your affiliation with politics
Yeah.
before they decide how they're going to talk to you or if they're going to. And that's just to me, that's ridiculous. It's just like religion. Like I don't give a shit what your religious beliefs are. I'll talk to you based upon if we can carry on a conversation.
Yeah.
So I don't see the point in throwing it out there on the stage saying, "Yep, this is what I'm all about," and if you're not, then fuck you. And it's just like, why,
I totally
dumb
agree, but I
motherfucker?
do think that there are very few bands that can get away with it. Very,
Yeah,
very few
yeah.
bands like Rage, like Rage Against
But
the
yeah,
Machine.
they're known to be a political band. So like I said, if you know up front,
But the
I didn't know that Aaron Lewis was a staunch Republican.
yeah, and I know which it's I think he when I look into that guy's pictures and videos of that guy's face, I think that he just really wants to be seen and heard. I think there's just a little kid in there that
Mm.
like didn't get hugged enough, and I think he just is like me, me, me. Look at what I'm doing, and what he's doing isn't very good at all. So I think he's a bandwagon guy, and I think that now he plays country music, and if you look at his bio, it says outlaw country music, and if you listen to 25 seconds of any song, you know it's not outlaw country music. It's just fucking shit. And I think he thinks that now that he plays country music, and he has to be for the right, and he has to be a Republican, he has to be conservative. So I think that's my take on him is
Wow.
he thinks that he has to be that because he's playing country. So people that play country are Republicans. So that's what he has to do. You know,
That's
and which
what.
in reality, people that play country aren't all Republicans. You know,
No.
it's just music. So
Right. So why fuck with Why bring politics? It's just music. So why? You're right. A few people can get away with it, but usually they let people know up front.
yeah,
Just like Lewis Black, I know that he is a mostly political comedian.
yeah,
So when I watch him, I know that up front, so I know what to expect.
yeah,
But I don't think you should blindside your fans and just be like, "All right, assholes, I'm a Republican, and here we go." We're like,
yeah,
no, shut the fuck up. I don't care. You vote alone. We're not going in the booth with you, so we don't give a shit.
right,
Private, really. But if your whole thing is, fuck authority, fuck politicians, I do jokes, I make sing songs about this. This is what I do. Okay, sure, you got it, dude. And if I want to hear that, I'll come to your show. But
yeah,
if I want to trip out, and get all psychedelic, and then halfway through the show, you're flashing up pictures of Trump riding a donkey or whatever the fuck's going on. What the fuck's that all about? That's when first time I saw Roger Waters. That's what he did. It was just like, it's all a charade. It's a charade. I'm like, what's a charade? I'm literally Googling, what's a charade? And they're like, no, you mean charade? I'm like, no, a charade. I'm a fucking charade. What is it? I'm like, man, I'm supposed to be watching this show, and he's saying that Trump's a charade. I'm confused. I'm like, stop fucking with me. I'm kind of dumb. I don't understand politics and art at the same time. God damn it. I want to be here because I don't want to be at home right now. That's it.
What's a charade?
It's a fucking
Um,
charade with an English accent. That's what I found out. God damn it. Shit.
um,
Yeah, pain in the ass, man.
it's all bullshit and it's bad for you, Tony.
Goddamn right it is, George.
We know it. So Stained, huh? How about that shit?
Yeah, so rolling right into Stained. That's what I found out this week listening to Stained. I was just hanging out with a friend of mine and I was like, "Yeah, we're covering Stained this week." He's like, "Yeah, it's a shame Aaron Lewis is such a Magma fan or whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, what?" And I looked it up. I'm like, "Oh, okay. Oh, all right." I'm like, "Well,
Well,
the music is depressing." So, I mean, that one thing I noticed, well, anyway, we're talking about Stained now. That's the band that we had for the week is Stained. The album is Dysfunction. And we started talking about politics and music because I've discovered that Aaron Lewis, the lead singer of Stained, is very political
yeah.
towards, the right, which I don't give a shit. Good for you. But that's my take on. But now we're talking about Stained and that album, just so everyone's
And
on
you know
board.
what? It's not a shame that he is a big Trump fan and MAGA fan. It's not a shame. You know why? Because Stained is a shame. It's not a big deal. It'd be a big deal if Roger Waters all of a sudden came out as a Trump fan. That would that would suck. But the fact that Aaron Lewis is a fucking Trump supporter, it's like
Yeah, it
who
doesn't
cares? Because
really.
who cares about him? Like who cares about the band at all?
Yeah,
It's just like go ahead. Like fucking, it's not a shame at all.
yeah,
It's
that's
not.
what you want to do with it. I feel like that band was struggling anyway, so why make it worse by you know pigeonholing yourself? Honestly, I think their tour is pretty much like like country fairs and shit now. So that's pretty much the end of the road. And now you're like, yeah, and we're all voting for the side that nobody likes right now. So like that's fun.
Yeah,
I just don't. But I mean, it's funny that it's a lot of people that sing sad, depressing music sometimes tend to be Republicans. So it's kind of funny. I just noticed listening to that record, like they're a sad band. Like
they are.
it
Like
really is like fucking. It's a bummer music. Like the music is good. I'm not gonna lie. I like the playing. Like it's got that '90s. Dun, dun, it's you can get by with that. That's okay. But he's just singing about like, and I'm scared to be alone,
yeah,
and I'm scared to be at home. Like, well, then just quit life. What the fuck are you doing? And
yeah,
everyone else
yeah,
in the gym's like, what the fuck's he talking about? I'm like, don't worry about
yeah. You could clock out anytime you want. It's
it. Yeah, you don't have to. I mean, this was their first album. I'm like, does it get better? I'm
turns
not
out
gonna listen
no.
to find out.
It turns out it doesn't. The only thing that this band did, the band Stained, is fucking stain my fucking um my fucking iTunes playlist. That's the only thing that fucking that this band did is it stained my rotation. And God damn it.
I
And
hope
my
you
soul.
start getting suggestions based upon this shit. I hope it shows up in the middle of
It
a really
does. It
good
did.
groove.
It does. It is that. Fucking oh, I listened to I tried my fucking hardest to listen to it, and I did. I listened to it almost two times all the way through. It was really fucking hard to listen to this fucking band. God damn it. and and then I fucking try to listen to music, actual music, and and then fucking what pops up it's fucking Mudvayne and shit like that. Seven horse shit. And both of those bands are 10 times better than Stain. Oh my god, I fucking hate Stain. It's so bad. And
Well,
I listen, it's just like you said, some of the music is fine. It's not, to me, it's not good. It's
no.
not even decent, but it's like okay. It's not, and then you put this fucking sad sack fucking fat neck singing all over the place. Hey, 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 it's been a while. like all over the fucking place. That song's not even on this album. Just
No.
everyone fucking knows that, you know. And it's like that's what the style of singing he does, and like Creed, you know, that kind of fucking like it's called fat necking because when they sing that, hey yeah, called fat necking, you know. Um,
Now all I can think about is that guy from what's that band? Blues Travel, the one with the harmonica. What band is
yeah,
that? And the suspenders, is that?
yeah. Well, no, that's just called fat bodying. That's like that music's just called fat body.
I
Uh,
just feel like they'd be on the same bill at a country fair with
yeah,
state
but at
with Aaron
least
Lewis.
that guy actually has some talent. He could
No,
fucking
I like that guy. I just you
yeah,
said fat neck, and I just think this fat guy in suspenders blowing a harmonica.
yeah. Like his fucking ears are resting on his neck. Yeah, I get it. But that guy's got some fucking balls that he can't see, but he's got some fucking balls that like dressing up like wearing like a fisherman's vest, a fucking fly fishing hat. It's got fucking harmonicas everywhere. His fucking singing jowls are flopping around like mine, you know, and like fucking fucking rocking at the end of the movie of the end of fucking Kingpin,
Kingpin.
like just fucking frog stomping everywhere. That guy rules. But fucking Aaron Lewis is over there fucking bleeding on everyone, crying about fucking having an eyebrow ring. That fucking bitch.
Oh my god, my fucking jaw hurts. Oh shit. No, you got it. You hit the nail on the head. My thing is, let me ask you, what is it that you okay, so what don't you like about band okay, so real quick. The story with Stain's success is that they opened for Limp Bizkit. And Fred, before the show, Fred Durst had seen their album art and had taken issue with it. So they had an issue up front. So right out of the gate, not looking good for Stain.
Why they have an issue, do you know?
It didn't. I couldn't find out what the album art was, but it must have been something that looked like who whatever the hell it was. It pissed him off for one reason or another. But apparently, by the and this is what's funny, is and we are talking about Limp Bizkit here. As by the end of the of Stain's set, Fred Durst had changed his mind and was like, "Actually, you guys are really good musicians, and keep my number type shit." And so then, long story short, it was Fred Durst who got them their start. Like he got them into the studio to do this album Dysfunction and all of that. But then again, it's just like the blind leading the blind. It's just like, hey, you guys are really good, man. You guys should totally do an album. Like you make the whole
Well,
crowd want to kill themselves. That's awesome.
so it's just another reason not to like Fred Durst. That's all you're saying.
Right, but Fred's not. Well, I don't know. Maybe he already has, but hopefully he's not dumb enough to bring politics into whatever's left of his art. His career, which isn't much as far as Limp Bizkit's concerned. In any case, it's just funny that these musicians, usually the ones that are like, I'm a right winger. I'll hear him piss everybody off. It's like, yeah, but you already suck. We didn't really like you anyway. You were
Yeah,
on your way out, and you're gonna throw up that flag?
yeah.
Like, why don't you just pull into the pits and sit there? Okay, it's over.
It's over. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got a caution flag. Get the fuck off the track. Like, that's the thing is like, listen, you don't know who likes you, who doesn't like you, but people still listen to your music. I wouldn't bring politics in it and give anyone a reason to not listen to your music, especially if it's keeping you from working at fucking McDonald's. Like that's all you have is musician, or you're back to working. Hey, how can I help you?
Yeah, no, right? Like that 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 nookie money only lasts so long, you know. It's like it's
The
that
older I get, I
water is
tell myself, be like, man, if I was 20 years old and I got that money for making that stupid song, I would have put it all in the bank. Because you look at their career, it's like the arc was like, whoop,
yeah.
like Stained, Limp Bizkit. But I mean, even with Stained, right after that, they said that they had success with a few albums, but they stopped in like 2010, I think. And now Aaron does his own thing. The drummer quit the band, the bass player quit the band. Basically, he's the only one that is dumb enough to,
I'm doing
say
it.
political shit. They all know. That your fucking coworkers in the band are like, we're fucked. All right, I'm gonna go work at McDonald's. This is
Yeah.
over. I might as well get a job there before he does. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
because they don't have any money left because when they were young, they like you, they're I'm going to put it in the bank, but realize what they did is they wrote bank on their nose and put it up there. You
Yeah,
know,
right. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was sitting on that joke for a little bit, so I just had to get it out. Sorry. Um,
You did you did good.
I just had to. I had to find a way to say it. But any tracks stand out for you, Tony?
The sad thing is, I ended up listening to this album like 6 times today, I think, just to get caught up. But there are some that aren't that bad. Like it's just I just have this lyric stuck in my head, that song. What is it? Like home. Yeah, I'm scared. It's just so fucking sad. That's the name of the album. It should be is so fucking sad.
Yeah.
That would set you up for success. But as far as songs that I liked, not really, man. I tried to listen to the Excess Baggage hidden track, which
Mm-hmm.
makes me laugh because that was a thing of the late 90s. Hidden track. It's like, no, it's a bunch of garbage on the end of the CD after you let it spin for another fucking 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, yeah, they're all right. I don't. Some of it's okay, I guess. Like nothing I can't live without. But if I had to listen to this shit, you better give me a bottle of whiskey and a pistol, because this is the end.
Yeah.
Like if we, you know,
You this is fat kid music is what it is.
I used to listen to this when I was angry and young. In all fairness,
Yeah,
I have a
it,
Stain CD. Like,
it's males here, by the way. But it's oh, maybe not. I don't know. What
not
is it?
getting any more mail. Fucked up.
It was it's no, it's fat kid music, and you don't have to be fat to be a fat kid and listen to
So,
fat kid music. It's a it's a fucking lifestyle, man. It's a
yeah, it is.
it's an attitude like fuck you, mom. Fucking you bought the regular Mountain Dew? I said Cobra. Fucking do the do, bitch. Like it's like it's not now. Fucking give me the quesadillas. I have friends over. This is fat kid music. It's the kids with like a half a mohawk and like eye makeup on Jerry Springer saying that they like slammed the door in their mom's face music. That's what this is.
Right.
And there's some music that it's like that, like the Korn's first album. The
Yeah.
Deftones, shit like that I still think is good. But
Yeah.
to me, there's like this is just not good. It's not for me. And I know that it was suggested to us
Yeah.
dope. So that's why I'm going so hard on it. Because I'm just like, what the fuck,
Right. And I'll be completely honest, as I always am. I still don't mind some of the music because it reminded me that I listened to them 20 years ago. And
Mm,
when I think about that 20 years ago, this was the music that I had access to because I moved around a lot, so mostly I found the mainstream stuff. Didn't
right.
find a lot of the deep shit like Fugazi and all that until much later. Um,
Well,
so
and I
this
would
was what
say,
I had. So
yeah,
this my memories are set to this. I have friends who we drank beer to fucking Stained. But it was ironically, of course, it was in the military. Like that's what's funny. Like this fits, drinking a fucking Budweiser, missing your bitches 3,000 miles away, singing about how sad you are in the back of a Humvee at 4 in the morning, crying into your fucking boots. Sure, that fits. That's what this is. So
yeah. You got a point. It is for a certain time and a certain group of people. You
yeah, if
know,
you're really bummed out, this would fit. But I really think you might kill yourself if you really keep listening to. You don't need to listen to this if you're sad. This
yeah,
isn't going to help you. You're just going to put on your headphones and walk right off the cliff. It's not. This is no good. This is if you're already really happy, at a funeral. You're happy at a funeral. Put this on and calm the fuck down because somebody died.
yeah,
But you don't listen to this or you might die. Like that's dangerous stuff. Every song is I'm sad and alone and scared and fuck me and I didn't know I was an addict, but everyone else did, and so I'm an addict now. But luckily I can sing music, and boy doesn't this hotel smell like cow piss. Like
yeah.
what? This is not happy music.
Well, like it's a yeah. I don't know. It's fucking whatever.
It's got its place. It's got its place, but it's to me it's sad It's
Mhm.
sad rock. It came out of the late '90s. It fit right up there on the Woodstock, the second Woodstock lineup, like with those bands, like Limp Bizkit, all those guys. That's what it was. It had its time and its place, and it's gone, as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned. Like,
I I listened to it. Like I said, I listened to it all the way through once, and then I listened to almost all. I listened to the second time I listened to it. I got the song Nine, and I at the end of it, I was like, I'm done. I did the
yeah,
job. I put in an extra credit right now. I'm
right.
fucking and um. So for me, the only thing I could take away from the band itself, Stain, is that the only good thing about it is that you could use it as a joke. You know, like it's been a while, that kind of thing. That's the good thing that I could take away from it. And the thing that I will say that is memorable for me, looking back at and back in time from when I was younger, and this music was popular, and I mean it was so fucking popular. Like this
Oh,
band has gold records. Limp Bizkit has gold records. System of the Down, Slipknot, all this, you know, were the fucking that was pop music. That was, you know, the Beatles in the 60s. That was like this was fucking
right. The
uh
radio stations grabbed onto it and played it every 30 minutes.
yeah, Lincoln Park fucking has golden like remember they have like fucking platinum gold records in their fucking house, you know, like so does the Aaron Lewis probably has a half of one too, you know, that he has to eat half of it because he's poor. But he has a half of one. So
I
that's
need
just
a Happy Meal. Time to take off another little piece of this gold record.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that that music was so popular back in the late 90s and the early 2000s, like, but it was so good for
Yeah.
them. And if I know we're kind of winding down, so I'll give it my 1 out of 10. And I'll give it, because of the things I said that I think could be positive, I'll give it a 3.5.
I'm gonna give it a 4 because there's still some sad fat boy memories in me.
Mm-hmm.
So but I never treated my mother like shit. Just for the record.
I like how that's what you had to do. So, all right, now I have to say I didn't either because you said you didn't. Now it would seem like I did. I mean,
Yeah, but
I
you didn't
even
like
said
the music. You didn't like it. So you're not the kind of kid that's gonna slap your mom with a quesadilla, tell her to
no,
get the fuck out of here.
no. And when I was a kid, yeah, I like this. I didn't like Stain, but I love this kind. I love
Oh, well, yeah.
getting
Well,
warm and all that
still.
shit.
Well, anyway, yes, neither one of us hit our mothers. And his mother's sweeter than peaches, and mine is just a bowl of strawberries. So
Yeah,
we're good.
like I might have said like as a young kid, like every kid did, that then I got slapped around was oh I hate you, that kind of thing, like, but never I never did anything terrible.
I mean, one time she tried to take my Super Nintendo, and I stood up to her because, goddamn it, I paid for that. But I didn't put hands on her. That's honest truth.
No,
The judge, the jury will all agree. But
no.
as far as like one thing I'll just say is like I always wondered with you why you don't like that kind of music, like really like you just said, it's pop music, like Slipknot and all that. And you make a really good point. It's because they were shoving. Well, I think it's because it gets shoved down your fucking throat, and you just can't. Every time you turn the radio on, that's what's on, and so you feel like you're slowly being pushed to listen to this music, or they play it so much you don't like it anymore. It's not even sometimes not like without not just Stained, but a lot of those bands that in the '90s that became huge, they were just being played all the fucking time. It was like I liked Slipknot for a minute, but now I don't anymore because I'm tired of hearing this fucking song. You
Yeah,
know, it's like I buy a Rob Zombie record, but I might never listen to Dragula. I might skip it. You know, skip that fucking song because I've heard it so many fucking times I dislike it. And that's what the radio stations, all those assholes, the record companies pay the radio stations to play the shit out of the music so they can go platinum. That's all it is. So you make a valid, if that's your point as far as like why you don't like some of that music, I get it. Totally get it. It just so happens that Stained is also depressing. So it's having depressing music shoved up your ass.
I don't know if that was the reason, but when I was the age 8th grade, 7th grade. No, I liked this kind of music. It was the music I got into. Like my
Gotcha.
cousin, they showed me Corn, and ever since then, I was off to the races.
Yeah.
But I never, I was picky. Like I loved Rob Zombie. I didn't like Marilyn Manson. I loved Limp Bizkit. I didn't like Linkin Park.
Hmm.
Loved Corn and Mudvayne and Slipknot. Hated Stain.
Huh.
Um, so it was like it's just like nowadays. Like I'm picky with music. Like I still occasionally at work turn on the first Corn album. I still
Oh
listen to
man.
Deftones, but I fucking can't stand other music that is was around in the same time. System of the Down first, some of their first albums were fucking awesome. Like they were,
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
listened to it, and maybe because I listened to it back in the day when I was a kid, I still think it's good. But there's music that sounds like most of Mudvayne. I'm like, ugh, but it's something I loved.
it's funny, like you're picky and like in real I'm gonna equate this to I'm gonna compare this to relationships. You're somewhat picky, right? And I'm
Sure.
the kind of guy that would, at least in the past, I'll pick up rotten fruit on the ground. So what I'm getting at is Alex literally like sifted through all the bands, and every band that he just said, I have probably two of their CDs. So I guess I ended up liking every single one of the ones that you listed. There wasn't a lot of shit in the late '90s that I didn't buy into. I had Stained, I had it all. I had all those fucking CDs, even live. Lightning crashes, like, oh fuck me, but I bought it. I bought that goddamn record. I
Yeah.
mean CDs, but I had them. I didn't rebuy them. The funny thing is now I bought all those on CD, but in my record collection, there's no Stained, there's no Limp Biscuit, there's no Corn. I like them. Like, don't if I once in a while, it's fun to be like, say what, say what. You better watch your fucking mouth, John. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Limp Biscuit and fucking Corn. This is great, but kind of turn it down a little bit. Anybody know you get pulled over for shit like that.
You
But
will.
yeah.
Mail's here now,
All right.
actually.
Well, in any case, obviously we could talk about shitty music coming out of the late '90s that we kind of listened to in the closet, but we'll leave that for another episode. Well, I feel like someone's dick was about to come into the frame. The way you looked, it was like,
You never know. It's always a possibility.
it's a dick shark. Ah! In
I
any
really wish
case,
I
we
had my
better pick
dildo.
music before we start making our second episode.
I know. We could just call this episode tangent if you want.
What do you what? Wait, what?
We could just call it tangent or rant.
Tangent? No, we did good. There's bits
Oh
in
no,
there.
none of those are negative. I'm just saying that's what
Oh,
I
when
didn't
I
say
do it,
bad.
it's scary.
There's no bad in that. It's just I'm just saying that's what it is. We went off on rants and tangents.
All right, then that's what we'll call it. All right, so Alex readies the wheel. I will go over the list. We have this week still in the number one spot, the Three from Hell soundtrack and movie. Yep, cool. And then the number two spot, we have Wheeler Walker Jr. with his album Sex, Drugs, and Country Music. The third spot is for Alex. He would have to suggest something if it lands on him. Number four, now that we've got Stained out of the way, we've got Pussifer. V is for Vagina. Awesome album. Number five spot, we've got Kaleo, A/B. Number six, we've got Daughters, You Won't Get What You Want. Number seven is my spot where I would have to make a suggestion. Number eight is the band Turnstile with Time and Space. They're becoming quite popular these days. Number nine, we have Green Druid with their newest album, At the Maw of Ruin. And number 10, we have, I got to say it again, Alex, Saint.
What?
How do you spell it? It's Saint Vitus?
Oh yeah, Saint Vinus.
Vitus. Saint Vitus and their album, Born Too Late, in the number 10 spot. Whenever you're ready, stud.
All right, Mama wants a new washer and dryer. Okay.
That's right. Bring him out on her back. Eight.
Eight. What do we got?
Turnstile, Time and Space. I think that they're getting a lot of traction right now, so we'll see what we think about them. All
Okay.
right. So once again, the album is Turnstile. They're out that the band is Turnstile. The album is Time and Space.
Cool. All right. Let's
That's
get
it.
this shit done.
Thanks for watching. Alex, you want to do your Alex will tell you how to worship us.
On your knees.
Mm. In the face.
um thank you for watching and listening. Like always, we really do appreciate it. Go to YouTube and go to our page and the most recent episode in the comment section if you would like to put a album and a band or a movie and a soundtrack together. That'd be great. Or go to Instagram to Titfu69 and you could slide into our DMs and give us a message. And other than that, we'll see you next week. Thank you for watching and listening.
Hell yeah. On that note, bye.
Bye.